Good morning, Arianne.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, Arianne, can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Arianne Ruth A. Pasco, 30 years old, wife of Robert Pasco. I'm married, and I have one child whose name is Bianca Marie Pasco, 8 years old. I live in Barangay Progreso, Gumaca, Quezon.
Okay, I have a few questions for you to answer, so let's start.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, why do you want to work as a maid?
Because as a maid, I can do my responsibilities and fulfill their needs.
Why you choose Malaysia when there is a lot of other country?
Because Malaysia has the same time of the Philippines so that I can manage well my job as well as can check my family in the Philippines when communication is available.
How are you qualified for this job?
I'm flexible, hardworking, humble, patient, and trustworthy.
May I know what your educational level is?
Yes, ma'am, I'm only high school graduate.
What was your recent working experience?
I then a trusted cashier as all-around woman of bakery in terms of selling, cooking, and cleaning.
Okay, have you worked abroad before?
No, ma'am.
Do you have experience of taking care of baby?
Yes, ma'am, I have a child and my grandma
You
when my mother is not at home.
okay, you mean you know also how to take care of elderly.
Yes, ma'am,
And whose elderly was that?
my grandmother.
Okay. Do you have any other special skills?
Yes, ma'am, gardener, sewing, massage, mild.
Okay. Are you willing to learn new skills?
Yes, ma'am, I'm willing.
Are you willing to work with a family where the mother-in-law or any relatives stay together?
Yes, ma'am.
Currently, are you still working now?
No, ma'am.
Do you know how to cook?
Yes, ma'am.
What sort of food can you cook?
Filipino food.
Okay. Are you aware that you will have to do washing, cleaning, ironing, and cooking?
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware.
Okay, from all the house chores that I mentioned to you, like washing, cleaning, ironing, and cooking, which do you like most?
Cleaning, washing, taking care of child, ironing also.
Okay, if ever you were selected to work in Malaysia, who will take care of your kid?
My family.
You are not allowed to use handphone during working hours.
No phone, only rest day in employee's house.
Okay, my question was, you are not allowed to use handphone during working hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are only allowed to use handphone after you finish all the works and when going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
You are strictly needed to surrender the handphone to your employer in the morning and your employer will return back to you once you're going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
If ever your employer finds out that you're abusing of using your handphone and it's affected your work performance, your employer will confiscate your handphone and you are not allowed to hold it anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
Instead, your employer will allow you to call to your family 3 times in a month. You only allowed to bring normal phone and you are not allowed to bring smartphone. Are you
Yes.
agreed for the terms and condition?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you agree to the rules and regulation for the handphone?
Yes, ma'am.
How many years is the contract as you agreed and understands?
2 years, ma'am.
Can you describe for me your attitude?
Attitude, I'm kind, humble, patient, hardworking.
How can
That's
you assure to us that you will work hard in Malaysia?
I'm assured to you that I will try my very best in the name of my duties.
Okay, can you promise not to use the telephone without the permission of your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to put on makeup but to dress properly while work?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to invite friends and relatives without the consent of your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you promise not to ask for advance salary from your employer under any circumstances?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you really understand some of the rules and regulation of the agency?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you pay any placement fee for you to come to Malaysia to work as a maid?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any history of sickness, breast cancer, or any other illness?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any history of sickness, breast cancer, or any other illness?
No, no, ma'am.
Do you suffer from any skin diseases, allergy, or physical defect?
No, ma'am.
Have you suffered from any serious illness?
No, ma'am.
Do you smoke?
No, ma'am.
Have you undergone any operation?
No, ma'am.
Are you medically fit or are you fit to work?
Medical fit to work.
Okay. Are you in any medication right now?
No, ma'am.
Are you allergic with any food?
No, ma'am.
Are you preferred to work for the employer of different races?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you preferred to eat the type of food taken or given by your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of being left alone in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of being left alone in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid alone in the house?
Ay, no, ma'am.
Arianne Ruth, are you afraid alone in the house?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of dogs or other pets?
No, ma'am.
Can you promise to work according to instruction from your employer?
Yes, ma'am. I promise.
Do you have any family members working in Malaysia?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Ariane, we have finished our question section. Let's go to case study. I have a case study for you and I want you to respond truthfully. Upon arrival in Malaysia within 6 months only, if ever one of your family members passed away, what will you do?
Okay, ma'am. I finished my contract after 2 years and I send a money.
You send money to your family.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ariane Ruth, tell us about yourself again.
Okay, ma'am. Instead, I'm finish my contract and I will send a money to the Philippines, my family.
Tell us about yourself again.
I'm Arianne Ruth A. Pasco, wife of Robert Pasco, 30 years old, and I have one child whose name is Bianca Marie Pasco. I live in Barangay Progreso, Gumaca, Quezon.
Okay, why do you want to work as a maid here in Malaysia?
Because I can because as a maid, I can do my responsibilities and fulfill their needs.
Okay. If ever your employer is watching you right now, what do you want to tell them?
Okay, madam, I am assured to you that I will repay your kindness by means of working, and please choose me because I give my very best to make satisfied with my ability as you household worker service.
Okay, thank you very much, Ariane. We will update to your agency if there is any selection made by the employer.
Yes, ma'am.